So, I have significantly decreased my time that I spent listening to music, and I've since replaced it with a lot of podcasts. And I truly think that you should do the same. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Colin Nguyen, and today we will be talking about podcasts and how it has significantly improved my life in so many different ways. And I hope by the end of the video, I hope that I can convince you to listen to podcasts on a regular basis. Nowadays, short form content has taken the world by storm, and it's only gonna get worse with TikTok and YouTube Shorts. And as humans, our attention is already so short, and so it's really difficult for us to start paying attention to something that takes our focus for a really long time. Like, ever notice when you're sitting in the middle of class and you just can't seem to pay attention to the teacher lecturing in front of you, and so you just start thinking of the most random things about what happened to you today or yesterday or last week, and you end up teetering between like a focused state and a mindless state with all these thoughts coming in and out. And so as a result, you end up missing a lot of key information that the professor might mention that might come up on a future exam. Or if you're like most students, you just pull out your phone in the middle of a boring lecture, you're scrolling on Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, just to see if you can't try to stimulate your brain a little bit more for something that is more exciting rather than, let's say, a college lecture. And the thing is, you see it all the time in university, and you might actually do it. I know I was guilty of that myself. After I graduated college, and in the midst of scrolling through all these mindless posts on Instagram and Facebook and consuming hundreds and hundreds of short form content, one day I really decided to take a step back and start actively listening to podcasts. I can't tell you the endless amount of valuable information I've been able to gather from the countless of guests that appear on some of the podcasts that I listen to, with some of the most successful entrepreneurs and creators making millions per month. And by listening to podcasts that really align with you, you begin to pick up some key insights and business knowledge. So it's almost like you're getting this one-on-one coaching session from this entrepreneur. And a lot of these guys take time out of their day to do this for free. And so if their time is worth like $10,000 an hour, you're actually getting $10,000 worth of content and information for just an hour of your free time listening to some of these podcasts. And when I listen to some of these guests, they have so much experience and knowledge out in the business world. I can't help but be in awe of their accomplishments that they've done in their lives. Quite literally, most of the time that I spend on Spotify in a day is spent listening to podcasts, and my day job requires that I do travel a lot. So the time that I spend on the road, I can drill through 1 to 2 podcasts a day. That being said, I've only ever listened to business and motivational podcasts. And so if you're into that, I have 3 different podcasts that I can recommend to you to kind of get started. And I really think that these podcasts will help you build knowledge and sort of transform your mindset into the right place for you to be successful in the future. The first podcast that I recommend is called My First Million, hosted by Sam and Sean. And these hosts just happen to have countless of business ideas, and they interview so many entrepreneurs that are super successful. And while these guests are in their podcast, they take a deep dive on their entire backstory on how they got started on their business, sort of the challenges that they face, and how they managed to overcome that and make millions in the course of a few years. I personally think that some of these stories are so inspiring, and the knowledge that they share is so valuable. The second podcast that I recommend is the Colin and Samir show. It's really for the creator economy, and these are creators interviewing creators. They have interviewed top creators like Mr. Beast, Mark Rober, Hassan Minaj, and they really pick their brains on what it takes to be a creator and sort of how they kind of got started creating videos. And almost all of them have shown to have slow growth, but they each showed consistency and resiliency to really push to become a content creator, and ultimately it paid off in the end, and they became internationally famous. I mean, if you see Mr. Beast, dude's got over like 120 million subscribers, which surpassed PewDiePie at this point. And it's just insane to see him grow from such a small audience, gaming and filming all sorts of random content, to now putting in millions of dollars for these game shows that he has with participants and other celebrities and YouTubers. So I think this podcast would ultimately benefit you if you are within the creator economy or you want to start creating YouTube videos like I do. I know I listened to some of these episodes and really took in a lot of good information that I really want to implement in my videos. So if you really want to create a brand or a personal brand image through leveraging social media, I think the Colin and Samir show is a good fit for you. The third podcast happens to be the most underrated and my most favorite podcast to listen to, and that is the Danny Miranda podcast. I initially found him on Iman Godsey's channel where he did a really good interview on him, and I just really love his charisma, the ability for him to pay attention to some of the responses and ask like really inquisitive questions that has come up from the hours of research that he's done on his guests that leave them really in awe and having to have them think about the responses. His podcast is really big on entrepreneurship, motivation, meditation. So if you like any of those topics, I truly think that Danny Miranda is a great host for you to listen to. And I swear, an hour does not fit the amount of valuable information that is in each one of these episodes. So I truly hope that if you are interested in listening to podcasts, give this one a chance, because I promise you, you listen to one episode, you're gonna start listening to every single one of them, even if the title doesn't necessarily interest you. You kind of just do it because you really like the host. So that's all for today's video. I really hope you enjoy it and start listening to some of these podcasts that I recommend, and really try to see yourself listening to some of these on a regular basis. Maybe one episode a day of your favorite podcast. I really think it's a good learning experience for you to get more knowledge on some of the things that you are passionate about. And it's really good to take information from someone that's been in the industry that you're interested in for a long period of time, because it can accelerate your growth when you're starting out some of the businesses or endeavors that you want to pursue. And with that, I'll see you in the next video.